Yeah, tell me. Okay. So in the last sessions, what and all we have discussed about on the SQL, all the statements and languages. So what are the SQL statements are available in SQL? Hello. What are the SQL statements are available?
Data definition language,
Yeah.
data manipulation language,
Mm.
data control language,
Okay.
transactional control language, data query language, or data retrieval language.
Yes. So these are the five languages we are available, right? So we have completed with the overview of the languages and statements. So each and everything we have explained it. How do we execute it as well? Correct. And also we have executed what's mean by weight class and what is mean by distinct class and order by class. When coming to order by class, we have ascending order and descending order, right? So after that, we have start with the literals, then operators, right? So in that we have expressions, the combination of operators and operands, and what is meant by operands, what is meant by operators, what are the types are available, correct? So what are the types of available in the operators? Anyone can answer it? What are the
Arithmetic operator,
operators? Arithmetic, logical,
logical, relative,
rela-
relational,
relational operators,
Special operators,
special operators, and
set operators.
set operators, right? So arithmetical operators you comes under positive, negative, modulus and division and multiplication. These are the things. And logical operators you have what you have, not, and we have add and or operator, right? And or operator and not operator, correct? And in the this comparison and relational operator, we have equal to and less than, greater than, and greater than equal to, less than or equal to. These are the operate not equal to. We have this relational operators, correct? And next, coming to the special operator, we have in between, is and like operator. And we have discussed with each and everything for the special operator, how it will be performing in the queries. And coming to set operators, we have union, union, all, intersect, and minus operator, correct? And not operator will not execute in the individually, it will always support with the special operator. Is that right? These are the things we have completed in the last few days session of. I hope it's clear for everyone until operators type.
Yes.
Okay. So the new topic today, I'll be move on to the functions. So what is mean by functions in SQL? What is mean by functions? So this is little bit theoretical part and as well as practical part. Okay. The function is a block of statements. Okay. The function is block of statement, and or we can call it as a set of statements uniquely identify the function's name. This is called as a functions. Okay. So based on this, we'll be having user defined function. Two types we have: user defined functions and built-in function. Built-in functions. Okay. These are the two types are available in the functions. Okay. Basically, it is all it's called like functions is need to be called by their function name, and it should be getting executed by passing the inputs. So I'll give you the one examples of this, like how we can able to execute on this. Okay. So for before that, let's we can understand the theoretical part. We have a two types of functions. There is a user defined and built-in functions. What is mean by user defined functions, ma'am? So if any block of statements is developed by the user, like based on their requirement, is called as a user defined. It is not specified by the in the function where any queries at all. As per the requirement, whenever you get the requirement or block of statement is developed by the developer, based on that you will decide with user defined a function. So but especially we are more focusing on the built-in functions in the SQL. You can ignore it for the user defined function. Just to understand what is this is more than enough. Okay, so built-in function, we also called it as a predefined function. Okay, what does mean predefined functions? So built-in functions also, it's a block of statements. It's developed by the compiler or the system, where then it is called as a predefined function. Okay. In this here, we have a two types. One, it is again. So in the under the built-in functions, we have two types. One, it is single row function, and we have another one, multi-row function. So multi-row functions. So right now in this single row functions and multi-row functions, I'll tell you this based on that diagram. Let me, I can continue with this. One second. So here we are performing for the single row functions. Okay. So n number of inputs. Okay. You will insert n number of input, but you will execute n number of output. Okay. Let me, I can tell you this. N number of input. So this will be the 1, 2, 3. If you're giving as a, for example, convert as a alphabetical order, then it will be show as a single output, right? So I can tell you this. How do we execute it? How to execute on the single row functions? Let me, I can tell you this. Select upper Saujanya. So is it upper? We are getting single row. Just one input and one output. I'm getting the data. Yes or no? Hello. So here I'm returning combination of this any data, but I'm telling to put the output as a uppercase, correct? So single input and we are getting the single output. That is called as a single row functions. Understood? What does mean by single row function? So you have n number of inputs and the same way you have n number of output separately. So that is called as a single row function. So next I'll tell you this multi-row functions. So what does mean by multi-row functions? You have n number of inputs, but output you will give it as a single output. Okay, I'm giving here. So best example I can give you in the college days, you have 8th sem. For if you want to get the convocation letter, do we have only the single certificate is enough? Yes. I'm audible. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So you have a all 8 sem. If your convocation letter, you have only the single mask card is enough. Whenever you go to the any organizations to get a job, if you show as a convocation letter is more than enough to
No,
show the degree certificate.
no. Must
Like
cut
you will have all the details, right? The college, why is to give the convocation letter? Why they want to give convocation letter for you guys in college? Don't know? No or don't know? ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಕಾನ್ವೊಕೇಶನ್ ಲೆಟರ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ just speak out here.
ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ.
So your certificate will be given in the end of the year, right? Once everything is completed.
Yes, ma'am.
So the percentage will be calculated in the convocation letter. Convocation letter is very important for everywhere. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. The same way, I'll give one more example to you. Okay. So you have all 8 sem mass card, right? Engineering. You have 4 years of this, and you have all the 8 sem. If you have doing other degree, you have a 6 sem, correct? BSc or BCA or anything else. So in interview or anything, if you're going as a job, they'll ask you the overall percentage. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So the overall percentage means how do we calculate it? You have to calculate each sem sum and you have to divide it by the number of years, right? Yes. Some of the data we are calculating the percentage in average percentage. For example, you will get in the first sem 50, second sem is 80, and third sem is 90. All it will be calculated into 3, right? Divided by 3 of the percentage. Add and 3. Am I right? So in the multi-row functions, what I'm saying, so this the input you will be the percentage, but in the out, okay, 1 second. I think I said I given 2 times, huh? It's not wrong. It's wrong. I can erase it here. Only one output you will get it, okay? One output you will get it. So the multiple inputs, but you are getting a result as a one output, then it is called as a multi-row function. So for example, I can give one more method. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 6. So what will be the output? What will be the output? 12 plus 7? This is 3, right? 6. 6 and 11 and 17, correct? Yes?
Yes.
So we are getting the single output with the multiple inputs.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the example for this multi-row functions. Understood? I hope it's clear, everyone. So what is meant by multi-row function? It is also referred as a group functions or aggregate function. So in this here, like you have a multiple types in the multi-row functions, but understood the concept, you have a n number of input, but single output. That is called as a multi-row function. I hope it's clear, multi-row functions. Based on that, okay? Based on that, you have a types. Multi-row functions also you have a types. That is count function, and maximum function, and minimum function, and sum function and average function. Just now we have discussed, right? The total number of data with average value, average function. Okay, I hope it's clear. So the count function, maximum function, and minimum, sum, and average. If you want to do the count, I'll give you the one by one example how it will be. You can able to execute the count functions. And each maximum means you have to find the maximum value, and minimum means you have to find the minimum value, and sum you have to additional, and average is the percentage of the values. Okay, these are the basically in the function topics you should aware of this multi-row functions majorly. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I hope it's understood now. Multi-row functions. So we'll go for one by one. How, what is the count function, what is the maximum and minimum, and sum and average function. Before that, let's take the notes on this. Okay, so we'll discuss on this each and everything, and we'll give you the example from the count functions. So in this, just understand the theoretical part, what is meant by user defined function, what is meant by functions, and single row functions. As I already discussed with here, single row function, you will get single input and single output. So for example, I can give you here, okay, select star from employee, select star from employee, okay. So you have a names, correct? In this table you have data, right? Why nobody is talking today? What happened?
Yes, ma'am.
EMP name from employee table,
Only MP names.
correct? I'm getting the data.
Yes, ma'am.
So in EMP name, if I'm giving as a upper function, this is upper function. So what will happen? All the names it's changed as a upper, correct? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
If I'm giving as a lower, what will happen? Same way, it will get the n number of inputs and we get the n number of output only here. I hope it's understood. So I can give it here for your understanding. This is employee, right? Sorry, EMP name, right? The column name. EMP name, comma. So see here, this is my original column. So it's got changed. Lower of EMP name.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we got n number of input and n number of output in it is satisfied with the single row functions now. ಎಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Understood now? Single row function.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So go ahead and take the notes. First, functions, heading, functions, functions. 1 minute. I'll reshare the screen. Okay. Functions under that copy. Functions are the block of statement. Functions are the block of statements. 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 Or The set of statements, the set of statements, the set of statements the set of statements functions or the block of statements or the set of statements uniquely identified by in a function name identified by a function name mainly used to perform perform set of operations perform set of operations or task perform set of operations or task. Done. Next line. Function need to be function need to be called by their function name and function get execute by passing inputs and function get execute by passing inputs. Function need to be called by their function name. Function need to be called by their function name and function get execute by passing inputs. Function get execute by passing inputs. The syntax of this functions, we can call it as syntax, and we have function name. Shall I repeat, anybody? Parameters here.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Copy the syntax. Function name of parameters. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next subheading. Functions are mainly classified into two types. Functions are mainly classified into two types. One, it is user-defined functions. Second one is built-in functions or predefined function. Functions are mainly classified into two types. One, it is user-defined function, and second one, built-in function or predefined functions or predefined functions. So next subheading, user-defined function. User-defined functions. This topic is little theoretical. Okay, please understand here. Okay, if you have any doubt, you can let us know. So subheading, user-defined functions. Under that copy, if the block of statements developed by the user if the block of statements developed by the users based on the requirement, based on the requirements, if the block of statements developed by the user, developed by the user based on the requirement, based on the requirement, then it's called as, then it's called as user defined function. User defined function. I'm repeating once again. If the block of statements developed by the user, developed by the user based on the requirements, based on the requirements, then it's called as user defined functions. User defined functions. Next line. It can be modified. It can be modified based on the requirement changes. It can be modified based on the requirement changes. You always use a defined function. It can be modified based on the requirement changes. It can be modified based on the requirement changes. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next heading, built-in functions or predefined functions. Built-in functions or predefined functions. Built-in functions or predefined functions. Under that copy, if the block of statements, if the block of statements are developed by the compiler or compiler or a system compiler or a system, then it is predefined function. Then it is predefined function. If the block of statements, if the block of statements are developed by the compiler or a system, then it is predefined function. Full stop. Then it is called as predefined function. Full stop. Next line. Predefined functions are present in the functions library. Predefined functions are present in the functions library by default when the software installed, by default when the software got installed. So what does the mean? Like here we have written upper and lower and all, right? These are the functions. Okay. So whenever you are installing MySQL tool, it is automatically install this background of this software. These are the tools. Okay. This is defined it. So do we installing anything extra tools or extra components for this to execute on this command? separately on this defined functions, predefined functions? No, right? So that's the reason whenever predefined function are present in the function library, by default, when the software installed itself, it's come on this. Okay. Yeah. So next, continue.
Tom,
Yes.
can you repeat second point?
Yeah. Predefined functions are present in the function library, present in the functions library by default, when the software installed, when the software installed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next line. Predefined functions are classified into two types. Predefined functions are classified into two types. Classified into two types. So what are the two types of classified into predefined functions? Single row functions
Single row
and multi-row functions, right? Copy that. Single row functions and multi-row functions. Next heading, single row function. Single row function. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's copy this diagram, single row functions. So here we have n number of inputs, and if you're performing the single row function, we'll get n number of outputs. Copy this diagram. Let me know as soon as it's copied. Copied?
Done.
Others? Still copying?
Done, ma'am.
Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody still copying? No?
No, ma'am. Finished.
Okay. So copy the point wise in under the single row function. First point. This function has 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 capability of this function has capability of taking n number of input and and provide n number of output. This function has capability of taking n number of input and provide n number of output. N number of input and provide n number of output. So is this understood, this point, everyone? We are getting n number of input and n number of output as per these requirements. Yes?
Hmm.
Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So done. First point, everyone. Shall I repeat, anybody?
Done, ma'am.
Yeah. So next, second point, single row functions. Single row function takes only one input at a time. Only one input at a time. Gets execute. Single row functions. Single row function takes only one input at a time. Gets execute at a time. Gets execute and provide only one output. Provide only one output. Repeating once again. Single row function takes only one input at a time, gets execute and provide only one output. Only one output. That means, copied, right, everyone? Shall I repeat it again?
No,
Done,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Copied.
Okay. So here it is taking each input and each output only, right? Yes. If one input to one output only, it's executed, right? Is it taking this Tejaswini and executing other outputs? No, right?
Mm.
So that means it's just taking one input and we are giving one output. Same way we are taking another input and we are getting another output. So previously I have executed, right, in single output. The same way. So here we are giving just normal, okay, general requirements, okay. So if you're giving as a upper, you can use it as a string in the upper functions. You will get it as a uppercase. Understood? So are we getting the single input and single output? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Same way. The last point of single row functions, copy. Single row functions gives the output. Single row function gives the output where output count is directly proportional to input count. Single row function gives the output where output count is directly proportional to input count. Where output count is directly proportional to input count. Single row function gives the output where output count is directly proportional to input count. Directly proportional to input count. Copied?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what does that mean? So Ivaga, we have 23 rows, correct? So here we have 23 rows in the input. The same way we have 23 rows of output also. into single row functions? Is it directly proportional to one column to the other column, output column?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope it's clear for third point.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the next type, multi-row function. Multi-row function. Multi-row function. So copy this diagram, multi-row function. We have n number of inputs, but we'll get it as a single output. I'll tell you how we'll get it, n number of input and n number single output. Since I already told you, right, like additional of data, 1, 2 plus 3, 5. If you do the additional, you will get the output. If making as a group, then you will execute the output. Copied this, copy and let me know. Copied.
Yes, ma'am.
Others?
Didn't click. Done, ma'am.
Done, everyone? So under that, copy multi-row functions. First point. This function has capability of taking n number of input and provide a single output. This function has capability of taking n number of input and provide a single output. Provide a single output. This function has capability of taking n number of input and provide a single output. A single output. Done?
Done, ma'am.
Okay. The second point, multi-row functions takes multi-row functions take multi-row function takes multiple input at a time. 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 and provide a single output. Provide a single output. Provide a single output. So the next point, third point, by default, we also call it as a MRF and SRF, okay? The short form. Remember this. Multi-row function and single-row function, we call it as SRF. So here, by default, MRF creates a group or cluster where all the input are taken. MRF creates a group or cluster where all the input are taken. Where all the input are taken. By default, MRF creates a group or cluster where all the input are taken. Next point, last point. In multi-row functions, the output count is directly proportional to the group created. In multi-row function, the output count is directly proportional to the group created. Directly proportional to the group created. Done?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Note, by default, under the note copy, by default, there is only R group created in multi-row function. There is only R group created in multi-row function. Hence, it's single output value. Hence,
Can you repeat?
yeah, by default, there is only R group created in multi-row function. And hence it gives single output value. And hence it gives single output value. So next, types of multi-row function. Multi-row functions. So what are the types of multi-row functions? Count function, maximum function, minimum function, sum, and average functions. So these are the types of multi-row functions. Copy this types of functions. So tomorrow sessions, I'll discuss with you guys. These are the detailed on types of functions, and I'll give you the real time of examples. Okay. Tomorrow I'll take the session at 7:30. 7:30 is fine for everyone, right? Or we
Yes,
can
ma'am.
take it 7:45.
7:30 is also fine.
Okay. So we can continue at 7:30 because since we have not taken as a sessions on Friday also, 7:30 to 9:30 I'll take. Okay. 9:30, 9:15. So we'll detailed about learned about this. What is this for count functions, max and minimum function, and sum and average. We'll discuss and we can execute the real-time examples in the sessions. Fine, guys. Is it copied, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So tomorrow we'll do the practical things on this function topics. Okay. So after that, we'll move for the next topic if we have time. Any doubt? So just we have done with today with the theoretical part. Go through that. What is meant by single row function and multi-row functions. Tomorrow we can execute. Once we have executed practically, then you might have a questions. You can discuss with the further in the tomorrow sessions as well. Okay. Fine with everyone?
Ma'am.
Yes, Aishwarya.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll stop recording.